In this video we're going to look at why your database connections may not be working. So we're going to look at how we're going to set it up and what could go wrong and how to fix it. So we're in our Cpanel, and the first thing we need to do is go to our databases section and click on the MySQL databases, and that will take us to our database setup. Now this site has no databases set up yet, so we're going to create a new one. We'll call it blog, and we'll create the database. So now we have a database created called blog. Its full name is lomstuto_blog. It's very important. Okay, so for a database we need to create a user so that they can access the database. So we'll come down to the add new user section, and we'll just call our user Fred. We'll give him a password of Freddy, just to be really boring. Make sure that your passwords are a bit stronger than that, and we'll click on the create user button. Okay, so now we have our new user. So we have a new database called blog, and we have our user called Fred. So now what we'd have to do is come down and attach or add the user to the database, and this is a step a lot of people forget. So let's try that. We have to click on add. We've selected Fred, we got blog for the database, click on add, and now we come to our privileges section. So this is letting us set up the privileges that this user Fred will have in the database called blog, and we just want some very simple ones. I'm just going to click on insert, update, select, delete, and that is all. So we're going to make the changes, and now we go back. We should see an entry now in our current databases where we've got the database name. We have the privileged user. So for our database blog we have the privileged user called Fred, and we are now ready to go. So the next thing we need to do is create our connection file to test this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to php.net, or another way, we just type in MySQL Connect, and we can use Google to our benefit, and here we can see that there's a description here for MySQL Connect in php.net. So I'm going to go there, and this tells you everything about MySQL Connect, and I'm just going to grab this sample code here to test our connection. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come back to our editor. I'm going to create a new file, db connections.php, or connection test I'll call it. So db connection test.php. Okay, so now that we've pasted in our code we've got from the php.net page, we need to fill in the user, the password, and the database. So we'll go back to our settings. Our user is lomstuto_Fred, even though we just typed in Fred when we created the user. That prefix is always added, so make sure you use that as well. So the user is Fred, don't worry about when it does that. The password is Freddy, and our database name is lomstuto_blog. So we'll enter that in, Control V, and we'll get rid of this, don't need that on the end, Control Save, and that should have uploaded. Okay, so we're going to go to the site now. lomstutorials.com/db connection test.php. and it's come up and says we have success, a proper connection to MySQL was made, and a few little bits and pieces. So what could go wrong? A lot of people end up getting error messages like this. So if I just, for instance, make my username wrong, just say I forgot about this and called it just Fred, what happens? We run it again, and this time we come up with a warning. Now this is a very common message that you'll see if you have anything wrong in your settings. It's just saying that access is denied for the user Fred. Well, there's a clue, but sometimes it isn't obvious, and we are using a password, correct. So this is telling us that the username is not right. So we have to go back and check. Now we do know what it should be, of course, because we've already done. Whoops, because we've already done this. So we'll copy that and put it back. Save. It's uploading. There we go. Come back. We'll rerun it, and this time we have success. I'm just going to copy this 3 times. So we've got it once there, we've got it once there. Okay, and I'm going to go. So the next one, what we're going to do is we'll make the database name wrong in this one. And this guy will just go incorrect username, and we need one more, so we'll do that. So we'll have the correct username, correct database. So let's just recap on these, just make sure we got all the settings right. So this first instance is the correct one, so it has all the correct settings. The next one we want to have the incorrect database, which we do, and the next one we want an incorrect username, so we'll just call it Freddy. We've got correct password and correct database, and in our third one we have an incorrect password. We'll just do something silly like that. So, correct username, correct database, incorrect password, incorrect username, correct password, correct database. This guy's got correct name, incorrect database, and that's a successful one. So we'll just upload that. So I'm just going to comment these out, just so we can see all the different cases. I should do this a bit different. It's uploading. Okay, so when we are using the correct username, password and database, we get our success message. When we're using an incorrect database, we get this message. So here it's telling us, it's actually mentioning the fact that the database has a problem. When our username's not right, we get this message, which is hinting at our username being wrong. And the last one, incorrect password, we are just told that we are using a password and it's incorrect. So if your username or password are incorrect, you'll get the same error message, and if your database is incorrect, you'll get a message mentioning that your database name's wrong. So that gives you a clue as to what the problem may be. So we've looked at how to create a database, we've looked at how to create a user, we've looked at how to assign that user to the database, and we've gone and got ourselves a little test script for testing that our database connection is working, and we've modified it to look at all the possible things that can go wrong. So hopefully you've learnt from this. When you see these particular error messages, it should give you a clue as to what's actually wrong, so you can go find out what the problem is and fix it. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video.